Episode 30. We've done it. We've made it a year.
I feel like I'm 30.
You feel like you're 30?
Yeah, it ain't going real well.
Yeah.
In fact, it's going swell.
You're just gonna tell.
I stay in a hotel. They call it Holiday Inn. Yeah, I'm in the club growing up on a Tuesday, but it's Saturday. I just moved today. What's everybody gonna do when I break through the fray?
Hey, yes. We are here. We are ready. We are ready just to do whatever we do. We're gonna make up stuff and tell you stuff, and I don't know what I'm saying, but this is the Until Next Week podcast.
And here it comes real soon.
Also, this is not a year. That was a joke early. This is actually just episode 30.
Bop, bop.
Yeah.
Make it drop.
Dane, did you almost burn down something?
I'm panicking. I'm not on the notes page. Hold on.
Yeah. Dane. Come on, you have one job.
I'm ready.
Okay, now you're ready?
All right,
okay,
episode
I'll
30.
restart. Hey, Dane, did you almost burn something down?
No, I would never do that to a close friend.
Oh, okay.
Except for I did.
Oh, you did? You want to tell us more?
Well, number one, as everybody knows, my main mission in life was to bring down Jake Trust and Art
And you did it.
and burn down his wedding venue.
And that was your main mission in life. So so your main mission you only first started with a year ago.
Well, I mean, once I found out they were engaged, I was obviously bound and determined to ruin it.
You realized you had a mission in life because before that you were just kind of going with the flow. Like I have no purpose.
Aimlessly.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
So I was watching the Minnesota Vikings play in a football game, and they were down 33-0 at halftime. And I said, Jake,
yes,
if the Vikings come back and beat the Colts in this game, what are you gonna do? He goes, I don't know. What do you want? I
he's
said,
gonna be like, I'm gonna get married.
Yeah, well, he's like, I'm gonna get married. And I said, right. So if they come back and win, you got to wear shorts to your wedding. And he said, deal. And I said, all right. And then what happens? They come back and win 36-33. And Jake wakes up from his nap and is like, what?
I don't know. I didn't say that.
And all I know is Jake is a dirty, filthy liar because he did not wear shorts to his wedding.
Well, you better burn down that place.
Therefore, I tried to burn down the wedding venue.
Okay.
So what happened was?
Yeah. What did happen?
What happened was?
Yeah.
So, first off,
yes. That was a good click. I apologize for my bad click last week. Dane was back at it. This week, I decided to bring a monster, and I popped the can.
he pre-gamed.
Yeah, pre-gamed. Yeah, but keep going. What happened?
So there's a bunch of people there, and then everybody does a send-off, that sparkler send-off, right? So then...
I wish you could throw rice at them instead.
That would be kind of funny.
That would be funny if everybody had sparklers and you just brought your own rice.
I would try and pelt the groom or whoever I knew in the face.
It's like, man. It's
Well, when the birds eat it and their stomachs explode, so that's why they don't do that.
That's the
anymore.
way I would want to go.
People do it with bird seed now, a little bit better. But
Okay.
sparklers, I like sparklers.
Okay.
So, they had enough for everybody at the venue to have one. And so they invited 400 people. And then, not everybody sticks around to the end.
No.
So then there's 100 people left when they were doing the send-off. And they were like, hey, we have 400. And I said, am I only allowed to take one? And they said, no, take as many as you like.
As many as you would like. Did they understand who they were talking to?
They don't know who I am. So I grabbed 40. And I legit.
Oh no!
I have 40 in my hand, and I'm like, "This is Jake's wedding. I'm lighting them all at the same time right
This
now.
Be the best night of my
is
life.
This is gonna be
It's
great.
all about me.
So I'm
like
like,
we talked about in past episodes at weddings.
exactly. Weddings are about us. But so, I turn to the person next to me, and I try to light all of them. They do all light, and here's what happens in the span of 1 second.
Because you're probably all holding them in one hand, right?
Well, two hands collectively, but together. Yes.
Oh, because someone else is lighting your. Oh
Yeah,
no!
because somebody else is lighting them. So here's what happens as they light in my head in the span of 1 second. It goes from, oh, this is cool. Okay, this is a bit much. Oh, wow, this is just fire in my hands. I need to get rid of this. And it's as I'm turning to the next person, and I'm like, I have to get rid of this. And I throw it because it's just fire.
Throw it at them.
It's
like
fire.
This is yours now.
No, it's fire in my hands. My hands are almost on fire. I burned one of my fingers. You can't see it. But so I toss it behind me, and It's not sparklers at all. It's a like medium-sized fire behind me.
And of course, you threw it in the middle of summer into
Right.
probably grass.
No, it was on concrete. Luckily for us.
Okay.
It
yeah.
would have
I
set.
threw
like,
into the big hay pile behind me.
it would have set a field on fire. Yes, and so I'm like, oh no. And then 3 seconds after that, well, okay. So people, whenever I do that, they go, oh, Dane, what are you doing? And I'm like,
I'm
guys,
getting podcast content.
no. I'm like, guys, it's fine. I handled it. Look, it's only a small fire now. And then right after that, the videographer goes, and here they come, the bride and groom. And then so I turn, I start stomping out the fire, and my shoes melting. I thought my pants were on fire, and it was something else. So I learned my lesson, and I took home 40 more, and they're in my car.
Are you going to try it again to try to redeem yourself?
Yeah, I'm
and
not
see what
a
happens?
quitter. Hey, I can do this. I just need a better plan.
Oh man, that is literally crazy.
Well,
like
the video.
what made you think this was a good idea?
America, for one, made me think it was a good idea.
I guess July 4th was not too long ago,
Yeah,
you were
it's still
inspired.
July. I was inspired by America and our defeat of the British in 1776.
Yeah, run it back.
I'm not paying your 2% tax on tea.
No.
However,
Yes.
what was it? So
Fires.
yeah, big fires. Oh yeah, the videographer goes. He goes, yeah, I kind of saw that, man, because if you check the video, you see them start to walk and just a big flash of light on the right side.
And he should keep it in. Just be like, what is happening out there?
You kind of can't edit it out. Because if you edit it out, you edit out like people's faces behind it too. So-
Honestly, that makes for a better story later on. It's like, hey, you remember our wedding night that almost went up in flames?
Well, and I told Jake Trustinart and Mrs. Jake Trustinart now.
Beautiful.
I said to them, and I said, hey, guys, I have something to tell you tomorrow. I was like, I'm not going to ruin your wedding tonight. I was like, I got something to tell you tomorrow.
Oh, man.
And then I told them, and they were like, oh, really? I didn't see that.
Like, honestly, we expected that would probably happen.
Well, I said, if this is the worst thing I do at your wedding, pretty good wedding.
Yeah.
Pretty good wedding.
I think all things considered, as long as they got married and you didn't burn down the venue, anything else is just, you're playing with house money.
Right. Because think about the last wedding you and I went to. I smacked the groom on the butt. And
I'm glad it was the groom.
yeah, you can't do that to the bride.
No, or anybody, or like the parents of either the bride or groom, or
Man, in my experience, that goes very south very quickly. However, when I smacked the groom's butt at the previous wedding we went to, he liked it. Trent May.
he asked for another.
But the
Excuse me, sir.
he was fine with it. The people he was talking to, however, were not fine with it. Whoever that was is a Karen.
Well, you should have gone to them next.
I don't know. They probably wouldn't have been happy. And then this lady's husband probably would not have been happy either. You know how it is.
Okay, I understand. I guess there
Husbands.
could be issues. Jealousy is the main issue there.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, I respect the marriage covenant. I will not be smacking any women on the butt.
Okay. You heard it here first.
And I respect
Title
women.
of the episode: Dane will not be smacking married women on.
The title of the episode is We Respect Women.
There we go. There we go. Wow. Yeah, I think it's kind of funny you mentioned all that fire stuff because my sister's house like almost burnt down this past week also.
Which one?
Older sister.
Rebecca?
Yeah, because
Hi, Rebecca. Thank you for sending Lindsay things.
Yes.
You're a nice lady.
Do you know what's kind of funny though?
What?
Lindsay sent you a message to send to me to send to Rebecca about saying thank you.
Yes.
But then Rebecca's like, we're Facebook friends. I guess her and Lindsay are, and they just didn't realize it.
Lindsay.
Hey, pay attention to your friends.
Pay attention
in
and
the
send her a
future.
thank you message. Also, Lindsay, you suck. And here's why.
Yeah?
Actually, no, I can't explain why.
Okay, we don't need to go
I
into
need
it.
to tell you off the air about why.
Okay, it's explicit.
It's about an operation.
Okay. Hey, just keep listening
She
to our...
was very not cool about the operation.
Maybe on our Patreon you can get that, or our OnlyFans.
That's what we should do with the Patreon is I go into explicit detail all of the operations.
Just explicit only stuff.
you got to pay for it. And so if my crush pays for it, then cool.
Yeah, yep.
Then she knows.
Yeah. But regarding the fire...
Or he.
Gosh.
It's not he. It's not he. But
I think with my story, it's pretty brief, but basically, the city utilities of our city,
Spring Vegas.
yes, they did really great, and they hit a gas line.
Hey.
And basically, if you do that, it goes boom.
Good job, Rebecca.
And there's, I guess, some explosions and fire. And then I was seeing all this stuff like on the news. It's like this massive fire is going on. And then in the background, it's like, oh, that's my sister's house. And there's like,
Nice.
really, it's by 2 houses. It's all over the news. And luckily, the firemen stopped the fire before it got to her house. But some of her yard is burnt
Shout out to firemen.
pretty bad. Yeah,
Hey,
they're awesome.
Well, the yard being burnt's not bad. It'll grow back really nice and green. So that's good because we used to burn the fuel all the time as kids.
Yeah. So that one section of her backyard will be great, but right now it's tie-dyed.
Rebecca, come on now. Honestly, do you blame her a little bit?
I think it is her fault.
Wow.
Because if she would have taken the right steps to like have anti-flammable stuff all
So
over
true.
her yard,
So true.
and if she would have left signs for city utilities, be like, hey, there's a gas line that you got to be careful with.
Please don't cut it.
Then that's all you got to do. So it is her fault, but I mean,
Also,
better luck next time.
If she had turf grass instead of real grass, wouldn't have burned probably.
There you go.
Would have melted. But
It would have smelled really bad, and then they would have inhaled the toxic fumes.
yeah, maybe
and-
killed them. So,
But at least your yard would have been better.
So what we're
we
saying
think.
is, Rebecca's a murderer. Wow.
I don't think anybody died
Well,
yet.
we don't know that.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Well,
Wow.
this is a great start. It went from weddings to sparklers to murderers.
Well, I won't speak on behalf of the Samuelson family. I will speak on behalf of the Dane Biesmeyer family.
Yes.
Lindsay Reed
Is a murderer. Oh, okay.
but also a murderer.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we don't know. I don't know the secret things that she does in Nebraska. And FBI, we know you're listening
It makes sense.
because Samuel and I are on a list. You need to go investigate Lindsay and Daniel Reed's home.
Yes. In Nebraska, immediately. Get back to us. Let us know what you find first so we can talk about it on the podcast. Breaking news.
She has cats that are spies for Russia in her home.
I think all cats are spies for Russia.
Not all. I met a very nice cat tonight. Its name was something.
That's part of the cover.
True.
What do you think? Like, if they're spies, they're not going to just be all evil to you. They have to act nice sometimes, and that's until you fall asleep one night and they begin to eat your face.
Interesting.
But that was a long intro, which was only supposed to be brief. But do you believe in marriage?
What a segue. I'm going to go with yes, and then follow it up with Jake's wedding reminded me of Barbenheimer
Okay, that was
because it was a Barbie wedding that I almost burned down.
that. Okay, that is it. So that's why you originally did it. You were
Yes.
thinking it was like subconsciously you were thinking of Barbie and Oppenheimer and
Yes.
how that nuclear explosions were good for us. I think that's what you were thinking. I don't know. I'm not saying that's true, but that's what was going on in your
The
thought
atomic
process.
bomb is a popularly debated topic, and especially ethically.
Yeah,
However, it did win World War II,
yeah.
which the Germans are still paying reparations
Honestly,
on.
we might have won after the first bomb, and they probably were like, "Okay, we'll just wait a few days and then talk to them." And then they're like,
Japan.
"Psych, number 2." I'm like, okay, just we're done.
Got
We're
it
good."
out.
Yeah.
Which they were working on something crazy too. I think they were just like working on bombing us again, but with more like chemicals and gas and stuff.
Yeah.
And then before they could do that, we were like, "Well, bam! Do you surrender? No. All right.
Ba-bam.
Hit them again."
It's
Boom.
kind of like the 10 plagues from the Bible.
Yep.
They just kept on like warning, like the Pharaohs, like, "Hey, this is going to happen. This is going to happen.
Yeah.
Are you going to let my people go?" And they're like, "No." And
hey,
you just keep
brother.
going until you kill all the firstborns. And
Ouchie.
then they actually just killed everybody twice.
Yeah. No bueno. But you know what really gets my gears grinding?
What really gets your gears grinding?
As a male, I
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, that's my gender, people. As a male, I despise moving. It's awful. You know why it's awful? Because since I'm a male, everybody assumes that I'm down to help them move. And if you have a truck,
Yeah.
it's 10 times worse. Everybody is definitely wanting to borrow it / borrow you for the entire weekend or at least your Saturday.
Is that what you were doing to other people? Because it sounds like you were moving.
I did it to my father. But I moved probably most of it in my car.
Okay.
And I told him, hey, just the beds, the recliner, my dresser, that's it.
I don't I don't know how effective you were though with your moving, because you posted a picture earlier and it had your seats down and basically just like 12 pairs of shoes in your trunk.
It was not 12.
Like 18 pairs of shoes in your trunk.
It was not 18.
It was only shoes though, and that took up your entire trunk. So is that all you took, that entire load? Because if so, that is not effective whatsoever.
33 pairs of shoes.
So 33 pairs of shoes, and that's all you could pack in your car.
For that, no, I laid down a TV on it, and
On
then,
top of your shoes?
Yeah,
I think
not the cowboy boots.
Oh my word! Why? Why
Well-
wouldn't you put down like the heavy stuff first and then put your light stuff on top of it?
Because I care about the TV more than I care about the shoes.
Okay, this is
Because if our current place that we just moved to today,
Yes.
is unlivable. Let me tell you why. There's no internet yet.
how dare they?
We can't live there
Why did you move?
because we thought there'd be internet.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in life, like without internet, like there's nothing to live for.
I told my dad it was unlivable. I said I'm not living there until there's internet.
And he was like, back in my day, we didn't even have shoes. I don't even know, just like something.
Well, I didn't have internet in my home until sophomore year of high school,
Okay.
or cable for that matter. And
so then that's when you learned about the world.
no, well, yes,
Is that when you actually found out about the bombings in World War II?
no. I found out about the world because I went to public school.
Okay.
So you learn nothing about something that'll actually help you, and everything about things that won't help you.
yeah. Yep.
yeah. That was a good time.
Yeah.
But yeah, grinding my gears, moving because it's long, it's hot. I got to go upstairs every time. And the single worst day that I've ever moved was I helped a buddy move down 4 flights of stairs, across the street, no U-Haul, and then up 4 flights of stairs, and it was 97 degrees.
So it sounds like you hauled it.
I was the U-Haul.
Yeah, you were the U-Haul.
Yeah. And every time they're like, oh, I'll get you pizza.
That's kind of funny. Like a lot of times, like, oh, can I borrow your truck and your gas and your time and
Yeah.
you and some of your friends, everything else? But hey, at the end, we're getting a little C's.
Get you some $5 pizza. Your back's killing you. You need a few ibuprofen. Your Saturday's shot. Your weekend's shot because you didn't get anything done that
But
you wanted
I
to get done
spent
today.
$32.95
Yeah.
on you guys. Only 3 slices a piece.
Yeah, you guys each have 3 slices each.
That is, yeah,
It's
that's pretty rough.
unbelievable. So yeah, moving is just the worst, and I've
Okay.
done it several times.
But you might, I mean, after this, you probably will only move like one more time or 2 more
hoping.
times in the next probably 10 years.
Yeah, I'm hoping there's 2 things that'll happen.
Your operation will go through,
Yeah, I either get married to whoever,
or you get thrown in prison.
or I move in with Connor Rule.
Okay, okay, he doesn't live in Springfield, does he?
Not anymore.
Where does he live?
He lives in a different country.
So you would move in? Are we assuming he comes back to Springfield, then you move in with him, or are you going to a different country here?
It depends if that country will allow him to leave.
I am lost.
Would you like to know what country it is?
What country?
California.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, how did he get out the first? Like, how was he on here last week with us?
Right. He was born. Oh, yeah. I forgot he was on last week. He was born in California, moved out here because he had like a grandma or family or family friends out here.
Well, didn't he go to Missouri State?
No,
Oh,
he went to OTC.
well, still local.
Yeah. And so he did that. And then he got an opportunity at his church to do exactly what he went to school kind of for that church and get experience and get
Embezzling
paid.
money, right?
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it was.
He took down that church. It was a pretty sad time.
Well, you know, when in Rome. And then, so, yeah, he's doing that out there for 3 years. And then he, quote unquote, intends on coming back.
Okay, that's good. I think, honestly, I don't think he was going to come back until he was here last week and he got to be a part of our podcast and give us some good verse readings on the pod.
He did say he loves Missouri way more than California.
I mean, yeah, he definitely said visit California, don't live there, as he is currently living there.
Well, his family's all there.
Well, I mean, something else, though, is they talk about, like, throughout the Bible, like, we're supposed to go out unto all nations.
Right.
And that includes, like, the really difficult, hard places. And that's why he went to California.
Yeah.
So
California.
I really appreciate him for doing that and reaching the lost.
What a guy.
Yeah.
Completely not like Lindsay Reed.
Connor rules. We can't bring everything back to your sister. Like everything. Like she's one of our most loyal listeners. And honestly, it probably is because you talk about her so much. So she wants to hear what is going to be said this week on the Until Next Week podcast.
All I'm saying is,
Which also you can rate 5 stars. Please rate us 5 stars. I know you're listening to us right now. Go to Apple Podcasts, leave us a written review, leave us 5 stars. Spotify, leave us 5 stars, and subscribe.
you know somebody who worships California?
You
know this person.
Michael Fuller.
Yes. Michael Fuller loves California. In fact, I think he started California.
He did.
He certainly started the blue movement.
Okay, yep,
But-
now we're stopping.
Yeah, frickin' Michael Fuller.
Michael Fuller, he's the best. But you know what?
Kicked out of K-Life.
Yeah, and that grinds my gears that he
I
got
saw
kicked out.
Mrs. K-Life last night.
Oh my word. Where? Why?
Julie.
Who?
Julie.
Oh, okay. I was going blank for a second. I'm like, which one are you talking about here?
Yeah,
Do you want to? Did anything happen there, or is it just you just saw her?
I just saw her.
Okay,
That's it.
that's cool.
Nice kid.
Your gears were grinded with all your
grinding.
moving and everything else, and my gears were grinded because last week when I went to edit this podcast, we talked about it briefly during the podcast that Dane was grasping his mic and just moving it every which way.
Doesn't sound like me.
And as soon as I went to edit, like I would just be talking and I just hear in the background just like shaking, like nonstop. I'm like, what? Why? Why did you have to do this to me? You made my job that's not too difficult really hard. So I have glued his hands behind his back
kinda
and he
uncomfortable.
cannot move his mic around this week.
Whatever are you talking about? I've never made a mistake in my life.
No, he hasn't. And that's why I like to have him as a co-host because
Well-
without mistakes, I can make my mistakes and it's okay.
I have no hands anymore, but that's fine.
I mean, that's because of the fire. With
Fire!
with your sparklers.
Shout out to Sparkos. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do it again.
Yep. But yeah, that's some stuff that's kind of grinding our gears, but you know, it's okay.
Lionel Messi.
No transition.
I just transitioned.
Okay, I guess it was. Yeah, okay. Messi, soccer player, you know, he's like the king of all soccer, and he's
Messi goal.
yes.
That's how I win his debut.
Yep, you just stole everything from me. He recently was in the World Cup like 6 months ago. His country won it. He's like the best player in the world, and they decided to come play in Florida for Miami in the MLS.
Lots of dollars.
Yes, and he made his debut. I think it was last night, which
Yeah.
we're recording on Saturday, so it would have been Friday night, July 21st. And it went kind of crazy. And I think that having him in the United States might make me a slight partial soccer fan in a way.
I have something to tell you.
I don't really care about soccer, but he might lead to it.
Maybe.
Yeah? What do
I'm
you want to
better
tell
than
me?
him.
Well, you are wearing a hashtag goals t-shirt.
Yeah, I'm wearing my soccer uniform right now. Shout out to Mia Weiserma and everybody else who played with us. And I was super goals.
Yep.
I kicked the ball and it went in.
Were you better than him because about every game you played, you lost? So it just shows that you could come back from adversity every week. Is that why you're better? You're better at overcoming adversity?
Well, let's look at the facts. He did not overcome the World Cup adversity until he was like 36. I am 26. I'm still
Okay.
becoming an all-time legend.
You're becoming something.
I'm something, all right. That's for sure. And I made somebody fall down with my soccer skills.
That was when you were teaching little kids at one of the past volunteer clinics.
Hey,
You're like, hey, kid, try to take this ball from me. And he did get it from you, but then you're like, stop. And you pushed him over.
and I RKO'd him.
He died.
He didn't die.
He
just
lost
wasn't
all
happy.
confidence. So
He
he has
did lose all confidence.
Yeah, he can't do anything else now with life because you pushed him down because that was the only kid that you could beat in soccer.
You need confidence to do most things.
And that is a good transition because the Cowboys don't have any confidence because they don't do good things because they're bad.
Here's what people
they're so
do.
bad.
Here's
Yeah.
no. First off, the Packers are a garbage organization with a guy who doesn't know how to play quarterback.
We're talking about the Cowboys here. Like literally, just tell
Here's
me.
the thing. Everybody listening, give me your eyes.
Yes.
I want your eyes to be looking at my eyes, not you, Samuel. That's weird. But
Gosh.
people in the car, look at me. I know you're listening and hanging on to every word. The Cowboys will have the number one defense in the NFL this year.
But have no offense.
I guarantee it. Because
That they will have no offense?
No, that will have
that's
the
what I
best
just
defense
said.
in the
And then
league.
you just said you guaranteed it.
and the offense is going to be better too.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
We had one hole on the defense, and it was stopping the run with the defensive tackle. We didn't go with the sexy pick this year in our first round. We went the defensive tackle out of Michigan, Mozzie Smith, the GOAT. And then we were like, hey, Trayvon Diggs, they're trying to throw away from you, so we need another corner. We didn't get former defensive player in the year, Stephon Gilmore, for a 5th-round pick from the Colts. Stole him. And then we're like, hey, we could use another receiver, Brandon Cooks, for a 6th-round pick. And I'm like,
are these guys good? I know for myself, I don't know who any of these people are. So most likely people listening have no idea what's happening.
Dang it.
So just a quick summary. These guys good?
3, 4, 5 years ago, Stephon Gilmore, the corner that I mentioned, won defensive player of the year, best defensive player in the NFL.
Okay, yeah, you clarify what it was. Okay,
Right.
Everybody knows that. So really good defensive player.
Yes. And then we drafted our one weakness in the first round this year on defense.
Okay.
Pretty decent guy. They say he's an athletic freak.
Okay,
Then we
so they have an athletic freak. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, what else?
And then we traded for another receiver.
Okay, a receiver, which I don't know how that's helping defense, but they got
Helps
a
the
receiver.
offense. Helps the offense.
Oh, well, we're only talking about defense here, I
We're
thought.
talking about both.
Okay.
And ipso facto, we're going to be doing things this year.
Okay, they're going to be doing things, which means they're going to lose.
No.
But, hey, it's okay.
We're the best team of all time. Great.
Will they even win 10 games this year?
We're going to easily win 10 games.
But the Eagles are still going to beat you.
Let me tell you something. They lost both coordinators, offensive and defensive coordinator. They're just not going to miss a beat. Jalen Hurts signs all this money, not going to miss a beat. They lost their starting running back. They're just going to keep going, right? And they didn't have any injuries last year. Just going to keep going, right?
So you would say Jalen Hurts.
Hey, I'm saying it's really hard to repeat things you've already done.
I've made a joke twice. Please, someone. I hope one of you acknowledged my joke.
Everybody quit laughing at that. Don't listen to puns.
Didn't catch it both times when I said, so Jalen Hurts, because you're saying they're bad, and that's his name, so it means he hurts.
You're wearing a mouse rat shirt. Shout out to Chris Pratt.
This is a audio podcast, which will be video eventually. I have not figured that out yet. And yes, I am wearing a Mouse Rat shirt, and you're wearing the hashtag goal shirt. Mouse Rat, one of the best bands of all time, Chris Pratt.
We may need to make a TikTok. I demand it.
Oh my gosh.
What? This is related to the video.
This is a shotgun. Like,
no, this is related to the video.
I thought you were just saying like in general, like, hey, we just need to make a TikTok.
No.
Well, I mean, it's all just like making the video clips and everything else, which would then go on TikTok or Instagram or whatever else. So
both.
We'll figure that out. I think once you have your living arrangements figured out, and then the arrangements here figured out at the Trust and Art household, then we can figure out maybe what a good setup would be and move from there. But we're going to move on to our next segment because we were talking about the Cowboys defense, and that got me thinking, hey, the Washington Commanders are another football team. Are they in the same division as the Cowboys?
Yeah, NFC East.
Okay, yeah, so this is a good transition. They recently were purchased by a new ownership group. One of those owners is Magic Johnson, the former Los Angeles Laker. And a part of this purchase, they're like, hey, we might change the team name again.
Because the previous owner was a sexual harasser.
He was a racist.
Yeah,
I think
and
is
a
what
racist.
you're trying to say, yeah. Because it was the Washington Redskins, which I guess for some reason people don't like. So then they became the Washington football team.
I thought we weren't going to be controversial.
I said some people don't like. I mean, there's nothing controversial there. And then they became the Washington football team, which was just a great name. And then they went to the Washington Commanders. They've had 3 names in like 5 years, but they might change their name again. So we were thinking, hey, what are some of our top suggestions of what their team name should be? And we're going to go back and forth, share our suggestions, and hopefully one of these will be what they choose in the future.
I'm the future.
Yes. And we don't even, I can't talk. This isn't even like a draft because we're going to have such random names. It won't make a difference.
Right.
So tell me what your first name change would be.
This is a classic and definitely what this should have gone to. And I said like over a year ago what this should go to. The Washington Senators or Senators or Sentinels. That would work too.
The Seminoles.
Sentinels.
Sentinels.
No, Sentinels.
Sentinels. Cinnamon rolls.
No, there's a there's a hockey team called this too. It's the Washington Sentinels.
What in the world are you talking about?
No, there's a Sentinel and there's a Senator.
What do you?
You want me to look this up for you?
No. But what are you wanting here?
I want the Sentinels.
But you said senators before.
Yeah, I'm taking both.
Oh my word. Okay, so why do you want that team name? Why is that the right pick for you?
Sentinels right here.
Okay, but what you originally said senators.
It's from the Replacements. Shout out to Keanu Reeves.
Okay.
Shane Falco.
Okay, so you would want the Sentinels. Centennials.
Yeah,
as your
S-E-E or SENTINELS.
Okay, so Sentinels.
Sentinels.
Okay, well, I mean, that's a great name. I think, though, they should truly change their name to the Washington Magic Johnsons.
Dang it. That's way too sexual.
It's one of the owners. Magic Johnson
I know.
is an owner. And I mean, before they had the Washington football team that's kind of describing kind of what they are. And now because Magic Johnson is one of the owners, we are the Washington Magic Johnsons.
You're ridiculous.
I think that would sell a lot of merch. I'm telling you, they would get people who aren't even Washington fans right now. They'd be like, I want a Washington Magic Johnson shirt.
Magic Johnson's face on Washington.
Yeah, we are the Magic Johnsons.
That's ridiculous. Dig it.
I think that's the best option at this point. I think there's nothing that could go wrong with it. I don't know. I want them to be Magic Johnsons.
I mean, Magic Johnson lost a lot in his career too. What?
It was just, I don't know. There's just a nice little delay there.
I finally came up with my third team name. That's why I did it.
Okay. Do you just want to go and say what your next one would be after my Magic Johnsons?
My number 2 would be the Washington Trent May Sucks.
I was thinking something along those lines with the Trent Mays.
Yeah.
But I went the Magic Johnson, so I didn't go the Trent Mays. I mean, that's obvious why you would have that, right?
Yeah, because Trent May is not a good football player.
And he's a big Washington fan. So I'm sure if he listens, he's going to tell us something about our great ideas for team names.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has his own ideas. We should have had him on here. It would have been a great guest of the pod. But yeah, that's a good team name.
We should have him send in a clip of what he thinks it should be named.
I mean, you can do it, Trent.
And
you and Grayson, you both.
Yeah.
I'm sure Grayson will probably send it in, but then Trent, you'll jump on there as well. So,
and then
let us know what you think the team name should be.
Grayson is responsible and a lovely lady. Trent is not a lovely lady.
Is he responsible?
Yeah, you know.
Hey, this is not a we only hate on one person on this podcast.
Lindsay Reed.
Yeah, that's the only person we can hate on, which I don't, but you take all the hate for me.
I don't know. You seem to be producing this podcast.
That is true. I guess
it.
I could edit this stuff out. Actually, some of the stuff I do edit out is just if it played one time, we would be done. So I take that stuff out. So then we are good to go.
Lindsay got a ticket one time because she was texting and driving, and I told her there was a cop, and she did nothing about it.
Yeah, but for my next team name, no transitional. I think we should be the Washington sports team.
That's similar. They play a sport.
Yeah, because they were a Washington football team, and I'm like, that is just too specific. You need to be more general and
Washington
hey,
Generals,
what is this? Like, what could it be? And it makes people think, like, what am I about to come watch? So for the Washington sports team,
right,
people first will realize, hey, this is a sporting event. Like, that's obvious. Because also football team can be confusing because there's soccer.
Football.
Which in other countries they call football. And if we just go Washington football team, they're like, hey, there's confusion. But sports team, at least they're like, hey, you won't be let down.
Right. This is a sport. Mm-hmm. And previous to the starting of the recording of the podcast, you said, I think, and I quote, you said, I think that I want to name them the Washington sport team because unlike cheerleading, this is a sport.
Nope, did not say this.
Pretty sure that's what you told me.
Nope. Whatever just came out of Dane's mouth is not true. He wanted to debate some cheerleading topics. I'm like, this is not something I want to get into.
If you're out there listening, have you ever heard me talk about wanting to debate cheerleading? Please send in your answers.
Yes, please do. And as you send in those answers, Dane will tell you about his third team name for Washington.
Is the Washington losing football team.
That might be the pick.
That's a good one because they suck.
Have they ever done anything?
They won the Super Bowl They had the first black quarterback who won a Super Bowl on his team. On their team. It was like 80. 2007. Doug Williams was the quarterback.
When was the last time the Cowboys won?
95.
Oh, okay.
So
dang.
more recent
Okay.
than this trash program.
Okay. Because it could be the Dallas losing football team.
No, we've never lost before. However, the Eagles and the Giants have won. When was the last one? For the Giants, it would have been 2012-ish. So, what is that, 11 years ago?
Yeah.
12 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
11 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the last 15 years, Eagles and the Giants have both won, and it brings me great sadness.
Yeah. So that's
And
why.
the Chiefs have won a lot, and I hate the Chiefs.
Yes. And so for those reasons and those reasons alone, that's why you want to call them the Washington losing football team.
And I hate Aaron Rodgers and the 49ers. But that is all.
Okay. Okay. For my last team name, I'm going to go with the Washington Broken Legs.
Oh, no. Alex Smith, dude.
And Joe Theismann.
You're, oh my, Lawrence Taylor.
Hey, there's a reason they're the Broken Legs.
I
because
forgot about Joe Theismann.
it started with him and then came back to Alex Smith.
That's awful.
If you've seen The Blind Side, you know what we're talking
Alex
about.
Smith almost lost his leg.
Opening clip, Joe Theismann breaks his leg, plays
Yeah.
for Washington, and then
Yeah.
Alex Smith did the same thing. So I think
Yeah.
you want to always look back to your past and use history as part of your name, and that's why they can be the Washington Broken Legs.
Greatest football, or some people say greatest football player ever, but certainly greatest defensive player ever, Lawrence Taylor broke Joe Theismann's leg.
Well, I mean, he wasn't going to, but before the game, the coach was like giving everybody like a prep talk and everything else, and like pep talk. That's what I was trying to say. And at the very end, he say, "Hey, Joe, break a leg," and he took that to heart. And then after he broke a leg, the coaches realized we cannot say that ever again. But then, since then, when Alex Smith became quarterback, they had a new coach, and he did not hear this story. So before their game, where he also broke a leg, he had an amazing pep talk. He got so motivated, and he's like, "Hey, Alex, break a leg."
Are you talking about the 2009 New Orleans Saints?
You're talking about like the bounty calls,
Bounty Gate.
Yeah. I don't think they played the Saints.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
not then.
No.
Yeah, because for those of you who don't know, in 2009, the defensive coordinator for the Saints offered bounties on the heads of players on the opposite team.
If they killed them.
If you knock this player out, literally, then you'll get a $50,000 bonus. And it was put on Brett Favre's head, and you can go back and watch the film of players high-fiving each other after a hard hit on Brett Favre. And I'm like, that's crazy.
They don't have those incentives in the workplace nowadays.
Yeah, you can't
like
just
common
hit people.
workplace. Yeah.
Kinda
Maybe
lame.
maybe if our boss was Sean Payton.
Sean denies knowing about it. He
Yeah.
definitely knew about it.
Okay.
But the defensive coordinator is the one who got in a lot of
Okay, he
trouble
was
for
one.
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are our team name suggestions for Washington. I hope one of them is selected. Kind of run back through them. I had the Washington Magic Johnsons, the Washington Sports Team, and the Washington Broken Legs. Dane, what were your team names again?
I had the Washington Sentinels,
Mm-hmm.
highly debated. The Washington Trip May sucks,
Yep.
and the Washington losing football team.
I think all these, it could just be like a rotation of team names. They don't need to pick one specifically, so they can kind of go through all these, and I think that would be a good option going forward.
I think it's a good one.
Yeah.
The Washington losing football team, because they lose a lot, and they will be the worst team in the NFC East again this year.
Well, we'll have to do a follow-up in like whatever February or whenever they just lose everything. So when we go over our final thoughts on who are the worst teams, we can really talk about Washington and Dallas and everything else. So on to our next segment, which is not a segment. It's just our final thoughts. You know, we're cleaning up for the week. We're all basically done.
Yeah.
Do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, if you're listening to this podcast and you're an avid listener and a supporter of us, just be more athletic.
Yeah, please.
Like, we are an athletic podcast and we don't take no scrubs. And so if you want to be listening to this podcast, you need to become a champion.
Yeah, because we are truly like a We the Best podcast. And if
Yeah.
we're the best, that means you got to be the best. Because
That's
we
true.
can't all be the best if you're taking us down.
Yeah.
Like it took long enough to get Dane up to the level that I wanted him, but he's still struggling, but we're getting there. And if you listeners can just like raise the bar a little bit, I think I'll motivate Dane to be better as well.
I'm also maniacally competitive, so there's that too.
Yes. So please just be better, and that would be great. But most importantly, just keep listening to the podcast. keep interacting with us on our Instagram at Until Next Week Podcast.
Unless you hate us.
Or on our threads, which
Then I hate
don't
you.
think people are really using threads too much anymore. It was
What's
like
a
really big
thread?
for like 2 weeks. What?
I have threads
Oh, you do?
in my clothes.
Okay. Well, you can. We're not going to have them interact with your threads. We'll have them interact with our threads.
Oh.
But then, yeah, or leave us a voice memo. Just kind of do whatever. That's cool. But yeah, we appreciate you all for listening. And the other people we do appreciate are our sponsors of the week. And
Who's number one?
Number one, I think I had to think about this one for a little bit.
Right.
Psych. No, it's Jesus.
Psych, it's Jesus.
Yes, our number one sponsor of the week is Jesus. It's always been Jesus. It always will be Jesus.
Is, was, and always will be.
Yes, because Jesus is the number one.
He was and is to come.
Yes.
Shout out to everybody.
Yeah. Do you have any verse of the week, or do you just want to go to the next sponsor?
No, verse of the week.
No verse of the week?
No, it's right here.
Okay.
No comma verse of the week.
Okay. Thank you for specifying.
1 Corinthians 15, starting in verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
For I am the least of the apostles, unworthy to be called an apostle, because I persecuted the church of God. But by the grace of God, I am what I am, and his grace toward me was not in vain. On the contrary, I worked harder than any of them, though it was not I, but the grace of God that is with me. Whether then it was I or they, so we preached to you, and so you believed. And this is cool, because it's Paul. He's writing it.
Yeah.
One of the greatest murderers of Christians of all time.
No. Paul was not.
He murdered
Saul was.
You're right.
Paul was another guy.
Right.
He was the same
person.
guy, but another guy.
Right.
Because, Jesus, he makes all things new.
He makes beautiful things. But, yeah, so it's really cool to see the humility that Paul has just in this, like towards the end of 1 Corinthians here. He's writing it, and he's like, listen, I don't deserve any of this. If I got what I deserved, I should be dead.
Yeah.
Which is really cool, and just a like awesome recognition, and like putting on humility that the New Testament talks about. And it's just really cool to see him actually do that. And this guy who's literally writing the Bible and writing to different churches in that time is taking the time to say, hey, listen, I know I'm not someone who should be speaking right now.
Mm-hmm.
However, I can't help but tell you what the Lord God has told me.
Yeah.
So
That's a good word.
I thought that was cool.
Yep. Number 2, sponsor of the week, Jake Tressenart.
No longer single.
No, he is no longer single, no longer mingling because he's... Nah, never mind. Not going to
So
go down that
pipe
route.
down, ladies.
Yep. That's all.
You can't have his art anymore.
He is...
Women don't buy his art.
Well, no, they can still buy it.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
You can
They
still buy his art. Please actually buy his art more now, because that's the only way you can get a part of Jake
He does
Tressenart.
support a family now.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
And that's a great transition to our number 3 sponsor of the week,
Who is it?
Michaela Tressenart.
Whoa.
Oh,
Who's that?
that's his new boo.
That's his lady
Yeah,
friend.
they're married.
His lady thing.
Man,
Man.
they're not here.
They're
which
not
is
here.
good.
They're in Europe right now.
So that's why we were able to break into his house to still record this.
Jake definitely texted me at like 10 o'clock this morning, and I definitely didn't text back.
Was it like, hey, don't use my house to record anymore?
It was like, hey, man, how's it going? How's everything going with the move? Did Connor leave?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I'm going to reply to that when I'm getting lunch. And then I didn't.
That's a good reminder, because I also left him on red. He
Nice.
asked me like
Nice.
a week ago or maybe longer. He was like, hey, if you ever join our Stratomatic Baseball League, what do you want your team name to be?
The Washington
And I-
Trent May sucks.
Yep, there we go. That's going to be the team name. Yeah, I need to respond to him. I think it was more so I just didn't know what I'd want a team name to be.
Right.
So I just never responded. So I need to think about that.
Maybe you can think about it as we do the outro.
That's a great idea. So yes, those were our sponsors of the week. We're excited that they keep on keeping on with us.
Lights
And
are still on.
yeah, and I'm just happy that you're here with us listening to episode 30
I'm tie-tie.
of the Until Next Week podcast.
Good night, happy people.
Peace.
Ugh.